And when I say that your haters love you, I don't necessarily mean that they're in love with you or infatuated, but more so that they really like you, but they don't, like I said, realize it, or they're in denial about it, but there's something about you that they resonate with, or they like, or they're attracted to. And in a sick, twisted way, it's almost kind of flattering.
So find a way to
Hello, beautiful fellow lightworkers. My name is Monica, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how your haters secretly love you. So I'm doing another impromptu video that I had not planned on, but I just had this big realization for myself that I wanted to share in case maybe it will help some other people who are going through a similar situation. If you are a content creator, if you put yourself out there, especially online, anywhere, you are most likely going to have haters. It does not matter how big or small of an influence you are on social media, you're just going to have haters. And that is a conclusion I came to a while back, but I want to talk about a recent experience and what I've learned from it. So last night I was uploading my previous video, and my husband and I decided to go out to dinner. So I left my phone behind because it was still uploading and I didn't want to interrupt the upload since it can take quite a while before it's completed. So we're out for a few hours and I get back and I check my phone and I have all these messages, like my phone has blown up while I was gone. And it was all of these comments on several different videos. I want to say it was like maybe a little less than 10 videos of comments from this one viewer who was just criticizing and trying to prove me wrong about everything and saying I was wrong about everything and just being blatantly rude in my opinion. And I didn't read everything, I just kind of skimmed and could tell that it was just very, very negative and I wasn't resonating with it. I was just like, this is really negative energy. I'm not putting my attention on this right now. But I found it very strange because this same viewer, I think a few months ago, had commented a lot of relatively nice things that they were relating to, what they agreed with on my videos and stuff like that. And it's like they went away for a while, or at least they didn't comment for a long time. And then they came back and it's just like they flipped and started just saying all of these just kind of like rude and negative things. And they were following me on Instagram and then they must have unfollowed me because recently they followed me again. I didn't even know they unfollowed me and they sent me a message. And I was just like kind of confused. I was like, what's going on? Because I don't mind if people disagree with me. That is perfectly fine. We do not all need to agree with each other. I know I've said this in like another video. I don't believe that we all need to agree with each other. I don't think we all have to have the same beliefs. That's fine. If a message that I'm giving in a video resonates with you, that's awesome. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay. That's why you can do a thumbs down. And that lets me know that you don't resonate with my message and you disagree with me. Perfectly okay. What's not okay is to start harassing me or anybody and verbally abusing me or other people. That's not okay. That's where I draw the line and I start deleting the comments and then I block them. And I know I don't have to do that. I know there's a lot of people who choose not to do that. But for me, I'm trying to create a certain space here on my channel. I want it to be high vibe energy. I want it to be positive. If people have polite criticism or feedback, sure, I'll leave that. But I'm not going to start arguing with people in the comments about things that I've said that maybe they misunderstood or they think that I'm saying something else. I don't have the time or the energy to just keep going back and forth and trying to explain myself. And that happens. There are misunderstandings, miscommunications. We're all on different levels of consciousness. We're all on different vibrations. Sometimes they just clash and it doesn't work. So after I was dealing with this and I was kind of processing it, I asked myself, I was like, why did this person specifically target me? Because I'm talking, there was like 6 or 7 comments that were all very lengthy comments just about how they didn't like this and they didn't like that. And I don't know. It it was a lot. It was a lot. Like, I'm like, this is so much to even read. This is like a novel. So I'm thinking, like, why does this person targeted me specifically? Like, what did I do specifically to trigger them into spending so much time and watching all of my videos just so they could say negative things about it? Like, to me, that feels like a waste of time. I can honestly say I don't recall ever picking someone in real life or online and spending so much energy and time trying to disprove them and being angry about it the whole time. What makes the most sense for me is that if you don't like someone, if you don't like what they have to say, then you just take your attention away from them. That makes the most sense for me. If I see videos or I see people or I see messages I don't resonate with, I don't like, I kind of disagree, I just don't watch them again, or I unfollow or I unsubscribe. I don't sit and just spend all this time writing them like nasty comments. It just doesn't make sense to me, because I do believe in promoting what you love instead of attacking what you hate. And the kind of ironic thing is that at least for YouTube, I know that if you have haters and they sit and watch your video, that's like a good thing for the content creator. That's a good thing for the YouTuber. So that means that they're watching your ads if you have ads, and you're getting more watch time, which improves your analytics and gets your video shared out there more. So that's one way. The second thing is that if somebody dislikes your video, it's basically the exact same thing as someone liking it. YouTube doesn't care. There's no difference. If someone is interacting, pressing thumbs up or pressing thumbs down, then that is going to be a good thing in the YouTube world, and they're going to share your video more. And then the third thing is if they take the time to comment, especially this long, lengthy comment, whether it's considered positive or negative to the viewer or to the creator, then that's also interaction, and that's also going to get your video shared more. So even if all of these things are considered negative, it's actually a positive in the scheme of YouTube itself. So yeah, I could definitely leave the comments there and it would improve my video, but I don't like to feel bullied. I don't like to feel harassed. So I'm not going to basically walk into my community and keep seeing these comments that are just gonna like trigger me also into getting into a negative headspace. That's not beneficial for me. So after I asked the question, why me? I got the answer in, I would say, basically like a vision. And what I saw was this girl that I went to school with in elementary school who apparently hated my guts. Just absolutely could not stand me. And back then I was even more shy, introverted. I was like super sweet, super positive. I was always trying to like help people and make them smile and laugh and happy. And I was very careful, and I still am, about what I say to people, trying to come from a place of love and not from like hate or anger. So I would try my best not to intentionally say something that I knew would be rude or mean or even misconstrued as being mean or insensitive. And I'm not saying that I am a perfect person by any means, then or now. I am just human, like everyone else, having my own experiences and trying to learn and navigate my way through life. So not that I was perfect, but that's always been my personality. I do not try to hurt people. I do not try to make them upset and push their buttons. I really try to do the opposite. So I didn't understand why this girl did not like me so much. But again, it's okay. If you don't like me, cool. Like, you don't have to like everyone. I don't like everyone. But that doesn't mean that I'm rude to them or hateful to them. But the weird thing about this girl is I didn't understand, if she hated me so much, why she was always hanging around me. And when I say hate, I'll just give some examples. She slapped me once for no reason when we were on our school bus, exiting the school bus. She would verbally attack me all the time, saying very mean things to me. She intentionally broke a pottery sculpture thing that I had made for my mom. She just trust me when I say that she did not like me. She absolutely hated me. But she was always coming around me. She was always acting like we were friends. still, and I didn't know how to deal with that back then. I didn't know what was going on. It was very confusing, and it reminds me of that term I heard later on called frenemies. And I was just like, I don't understand. Are we friends? Are we enemies? Like, do you like me? Do you hate me? Because you're saying one thing, but then you're acting another way. So she would run hot and cold on me. One day she was my friend. One day she hated me. And my mom knew about this. And so my mom was upset when she came to an end of the year ceremony they had at my school. And the last picture was of me and this girl sitting side by side. And I remember something happened that she was crying that day, and I just asked her what was wrong, and I was trying to be like a shoulder to cry on and to listen, and then she went off on me, but she posed for the picture so that it looked like we were friends, and it even said something at the end like friends forever on that picture. So yeah, that was a confusing time. I haven't had an experience really like that since. But as I was thinking about this vision that came to me, because I had forgotten about this girl for a long time, I was like, okay, so there's something to this, because people don't just target people randomly. Typically, there's a reason, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. It's usually like an energy thing that they feel drawn to that person. And as a light worker, we tend to spread so much light that we cast a big shadow, because the more light there is somewhere, the more shadow it can cast somewhere, just like a sun that's over a building, right? And that starts to trigger people who are in the dark, and they will flock to the light. And they see someone who is at a very high vibration, who's doing good, and on some level, I believe they actually really like this person. Not just me, I'm talking about any haters for any person. They do like this person. Maybe they're in denial about it, or they don't realize it. And I think it could, like I said, it could be subconsciously they like them, or on an energy level they like them and they feel drawn to them. But there's something about that person that just triggers them. And it could be maybe that the message that they're spreading, like for me, I don't think it's so much me, I think it's the message that I spread does not resonate with everyone. And I think sometimes when someone doesn't like something that someone's saying, in some cases it could be that it's because that person knows or feels somewhere in their soul that what that other person is that's triggering them is saying is true. And maybe they don't feel that, or maybe they don't consciously know that at the time. So just give an example, like if there's someone who's very awakened and there's someone who's not, and the unawakened person is watching content from the awakened person, and then they start leaving comments saying, you're crazy, you're delusional, that doesn't make any sense, everything's based in science, there's no such thing as spirituality or non-physical, there's only what we can see with our eyes. And this unawakened person is constantly coming at the awakened person and attacking their beliefs, their views, because the unawakened person can't handle the fact that there's some level, on some level in their subconscious, they believe this to be true, but they're afraid that if it is true, then they'll have to change, and they're afraid that other people are going to think that they're crazy, and it's too uncomfortable to have to come to that. Maybe in the same lifetime, they will eventually awaken, and then they will go back to that person that they really criticized harshly, and maybe they'll apologize and be like, you know what, you were right, and I kind of knew you were right, and I just didn't want to admit it. And then sometimes they don't. So that's one theory I have as to why people get so triggered and why they start hating on someone. And I'm going to say that I don't think that hate is all a bad thing. I think the word hate is very strong, and I think that it basically means that you really, really, really dislike something or someone to the point where your judgment is so clouded by how much you feel or think you don't like this someone or something that you can't even see anything that you like about them. And so that's that strong feeling of hate. Now with emotions, I don't necessarily like to label them good or bad emotions, because that can trigger us to feel guilty about our feelings, so then we try to push them away and suppress them and deny them. I do believe that there are low vibrational feelings and there are high vibrational feelings such as love and joy, and low vibrational such as jealousy and depression. But nonetheless, there are feelings, and I feel like it's crucial that we feel all of our emotions, feel them deeply, sit with them, because all they're trying to do is tell us something. They're trying to tell us what we're going through, or they're trying to teach us a lesson as to what we need to learn about something. And that's what I was learning about this whole subject last night. And when hate can become a bad thing is if people start acting out on it, if they start committing hate crimes, if they start physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally abusing someone else because they don't like what they have to say or they don't agree with their beliefs. That's when hate becomes a problem. When it's just a feeling, of I really, 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 really dislike something, okay, let's work through that. Let's feel that, let's process that, let's meditate, sit with it, try to understand what is going on that with us that we feel so triggered by something outside of us. Everything externally is just a mirror reflection of what we're feeling internally. So it doesn't mean that the other person is right or wrong or good or bad. I mean, it's all what you perceive. I believe that each and every one of us are beings of love, pure love. That is our natural state. That is how we are when we're born. That is how we are when we're children. Hate is taught and learned over a lifetime, over years, as you're growing up, depending on your environment, depending on your influences, depending on the people you're around, depending on what you hear from the media. Hate is learned. It's not something that we just are born with. And I think the haters have a lot of darkness going on with them. I have a lot of compassion because I feel that they have gone through something. We've all gone through something, whether it's something that we consider traumatic or just something that is very difficult for us to deal with. It's difficult for us to feel. We're trying to escape it. And the way we escape it is we project it onto other people. We want to make them wrong so that we can feel right. And when I say that your haters love you, I don't necessarily mean that they're in love with you or infatuated, but more so that they really like you, but they don't, like I said, realize it, or they're in denial about it, but there's something about you that they resonate with or they like or they're attracted to. And in a sick, twisted way, it's almost kind of flattering. But it's also not okay, like I said, to bully, harass, or abuse people. And I won't tolerate it. I just won't. I've dealt with it with people in my real life. And what do? I take my attention away from them. I stop talking to them. I block their phone numbers if I have to. I'll have a discussion with them and tell them, you know what, I don't think this is going to work. A breakup of sorts, whether it's a love relationship or it's like a friendship. And the same online, I won't tolerate it. So I will block people. I will delete comments. And I take my attention away from them. And then I move on. Anything that annoys you is teaching you patience. Anyone who abandons you is teaching you how to stand up on your own 2 feet. Anything that angers you is teaching you forgiveness and compassion. Anything that has power over you is teaching you how to take your power back. Anything you hate is teaching you unconditional love. Anything you fear is teaching you courage to overcome your fear. Anything you can't control is teaching you how to let go. One more thing that I want to say that just came to me is, if you think about any TV show or movie that you've seen where someone is picking on someone a lot, usually they show this in like school, and if that person decides to conform to that hater as to like thinking like them more and sharing the same opinions and acting the same way and being knocked down, then a lot of times they will become friends or frenemies because that person, the hater, is at a low vibration. The non-hater is usually at a higher vibration, and it's really difficult for them to be at the same space because the low vibrational person, they want to bring the high vibrational person down to their level so that they can exist easier together in the same space because misery loves company. Or the higher vibrational person may want to help the lower vibrational person and bring them up to their level of feeling good and feeling high vibe and feeling joy. But the low vibrational person doesn't want to go there. They're not ready. They're scared. They don't want that uncomfortable change, so they want to stay here. And then the relationship has a lot of difficulties and usually ends up not working. So it's like the low vibe person consciously or subconsciously is like, hey, high vibe person, I like you, but I can't hang out with you unless you agree with me and that we can look at the world through a negative scope. So come down here, be on my level, and then it'll be all good. You'll conform to what I want. I feel like I'm using like hand puppets, but I don't really know how else. That's the only way I can think to explain it right now. What I want to say is thank you with all of my heart to all of my haters. Thank you. You have taught me a very valuable lesson, and that is priceless. I am grateful for the good and the bad experiences in life because it has helped me to learn and to grow so much. That is how I become the person I am today, and I wouldn't change any of my experiences, no matter how bad they seemed at the time for that. I am very happy with who I am today, and I love myself, and I am learning forgiveness and compassion for anyone who hates me or doesn't like me or I trigger. So the last thing I want to say is love me or hate me, I'm here to stay. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep being me, and I'm here for the long haul. Love me or hate me, but the one thing you can't do is stop me.